I believe that is called a snake fly. These things are cool. And they help control, they eat other bugs. So they're good for controlling the bug population around here. Funny looking little dude there. Oh, what is that? I don't know what that is. I've seen that just a second ago over there, or another one of them. They're like really lanky looking little bugs there. Bugs are out. The weather has warmed up. It's so nice. I don't care too much for the heat, but it's so much better than dealing with the rain. Getting ready to start cutting some pallets, or plywood panels for the ceiling. I'm going to cut them in half so I don't have to try and lift the whole panel, nor do I have to try and, you know, apply the foam to the entire thing, because by the time I'm done applying that expanding foam, it might start curing at this side by the time I'm done applying it over there. So I'm going to cut them in half, cut them to fit where they need to go. Need to clean this up. A bunch of dirt on it. This is the, I don't know if you could even call this a pallet. It's not your typical pallet. It's a big old platform for my 4x8 16 gauge steel. I had I think I got like 6 sheets. How much did I get? Anyway, that's what they came on. Or that's what I picked them up on. Pretty awesome steel yard. They just throw it right in the back of Rusty. Yeah, I can't get rid of it. There's no way I'm getting rid of Rusty. He's the perfect work truck. Could fit everything I need in there. 4x8 sheets. Look at this little bug. Don't know what that was either. Some bugs are super cool, others I despise. So we're gonna take a trip in here, or we're gonna take a trip in Rusty here soon. I need to go get tags, and we got some big helpers to thank for that. Had somebody donate just so I can get tags, and that is so awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and get that done early. They're not ready till July, but I can go get them right now. I can actually get them 6 months early, but it's a long drive and they are expensive. So I'll take old Rusty Boy up north, get some tags and get that out of the way. I'm gonna get the ceiling done. I'm gonna get a few more things done. I want to get the bulk of the big jobs done. Ceiling, walls, maybe the dash and the upper cabinet thing, get that finished. And then I want to move on to Rusty and figure out his electrical problems. There's a video started on it. I replaced grounding straps. That did nothing. I was certain it would do something because the grounding straps up here where they were bolted, the bolt, when I put the wrench on it, it just fell off. It was completely corroded, rusted. And I was thinking, yeah, these are gonna have to do something. They did nothing. I think the electrical issue is up in the dash. Hopefully. But yeah, I got one going to the body, and from the body down to the frame. So yeah, working on Rusty here soon. Such a great truck. It's a perfect truck. Gonna cut this up here soon. Now that I got the sawzall, I'm gonna cut it into more manageable pieces. I'm gonna put that up in a pile of stuff that's going to the junkyard. That makes a good fly swatter. Needs to be washed. I need to stop doing it because I don't like chewing up my favorite hat. All yes, thank you for your continued support. Charles B, thank you for your very generous donation. That is so awesome. Thank you very, very much. Huge support for the channel. He says, true American channel. Love that you are a Trump supporter. Heck yeah, buddy. God bless America. God bless President Trump. So happy with the way things turned out. So happy with the way things are going. Thank you so much. That's very generous of you. And Christopher P, another massive dono for the channel to help keep things going. Christopher P, you are awesome, buddy. Thank you so much. He says, contribution to tags for the truck so you can keep mobile while working on patches. Thank you very, very much, Christopher P. Rusty is definitely an important part to the channel for getting all these big, heavy loads and bringing in supplies for patches. And, well, it's very, very generous of you. Thank you so much. And Eric C, thank you very, very much for your continued support to the channel. I appreciate you very much. Thank you everybody for watching, subscribing, liking, being members, VIP members, super thankers, viewers who don't subscribe for some reason, but you watch anyway. Thank you very, very much for being here. Got lots coming up. I'm going to try and kick up the notch a little bit on this rebuild. With all the support, we can make a pretty good push to get the interior finished. And hopefully go for our first test drive here soon. I can't wait. Got to get the lights put on first. But maybe I can just take it down the driveway or something. And just see how she feels. I want to put the floor in. And the tanks in. I don't want to drive it right now because it's pretty light. I want to see what the RV feels like when I get all the walls in and the flooring and the tanks. But as of right now, just as a shell, I can tell she's pretty light compared to what she used to be. So I want to feel her as she's going to be. I think it's going to be quite nice. She doesn't have big, heavy air conditioning units anymore. She doesn't have that heavy hydraulic leveling system anymore. A lot of cabinetry has been removed along the bottom. I'd be surprised if we even got close to the weight she used to be. When she was still original, loaded with all of my stuff, she was over 15K, if I remember right. So, next up, we'll be heading into town. Gotta get a few things done. I need to rest up. And we'll be going here soon. Alright, next thing I want to get fixed on this truck is this broken canopy support. These brackets wore out and snapped on each side. And I need to get that back up in there. I'm also going to go ahead and cut this off. Because I don't need it. Don't open these rear windows. Rear window missing. And it's all falling apart, so let's just go ahead and take this stuff out. Just take out this spline. Not even gonna worry about it. It's this canopy's on its last legs, so let's just get this stuff out of here. But yeah, this is missing its latch. Probably gonna just glue that shut because it keeps opening. I have no reason to ever open these. pieces. Just put like a dab of glue down there on the track because that doesn't want to stay shut. That side looks fine. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the screen out of there too, just to help me see. I suppose. Help me see getting out of here. Still looks good enough. Solid enough. Might just throw some bolts through them, help support them even more, just in case. Just in case that ever starts to go. I added some spacers to shove the bar up a little harder into the roof. Since this foam is degraded and compressed, and I don't think it's really mounted right to begin with, there's a lot of space over here on this side. That side got a little 1/16 inch spacer. This got about a 1/4 inch spacer. Alright, for what I thought was going to be a nightmare to weld, actually turned out okay. So you see we spaced that up by about a 1/4 inch. It's so hot. Got this bar riding right up on the top of that. Just like this side. Spaced with 1/16 inch. Isn't it good and solid? Now I'm going to go ahead and just caulk the crap out of this thing. If this was a nice canopy, I might replace the foam and do a better job of this, but it's on its last leg, so I'm just gonna caulk it using some quad, which is really durable and real flexible. These gaps will just, and right in here, around in here probably, just so, this is probably gonna flex all over the place again, so. Yeah, let's just goop it up. Same back there. Alright, I got this middle bar caulked, front and back with the quad. This bar is caulked on the front, but only halfway on the back. I ran out of quad, and it probably really doesn't need it. It's still pretty, the bar is still pretty secure. So I'm using up the rest of this, or as much as I can, of this liquid garbage. This poor quality caulk. It does okay if you give it enough time to cure. This stuff will get pretty hard, but man, it's just really poor quality sealant, and the tubes they come in are just absolute trash. It oozes out the back, makes a big old mess. Use as much of that as I can. I'm gonna just throw the rest away. The company can't even make a tube of caulk without a whole bunch of air in it either. It's constantly burping out bubbles. This is the biggest piece of caulk I've ever used. So I'm probably going a little overkill. I mean, everything's corroding and rusting out. I'm just gonna hold it together as long as possible. Next time I have a major repair on this canopy, I'm just gonna throw it away. So let's get this to last as long as possible. Let's just finish off the. It's all separating too. The chemicals aren't mixed anymore. This stuff is freaking garbage. Liquid garbage. I'll never buy this stuff again. What a waste of money. What a gimmicky name too. I guess I should have known better. From the gimmicky name and the price. I think it was like $3 a tube. Somebody else suggested this stuff. It wasn't my idea. I don't normally buy. Yeah, I thought I'd give it a shot. So, a little bit left in there. I'll just throw it in the garbage. Stuff's worthless. Nearly worthless. Might add just a little support for the brackets as things wobble around. Alright, I'll let that sit as long as I can, at least 24 hours. Alright, messy job, but I think that's going to help this canopy last quite a while longer, hopefully. And I didn't just caulk the front of the bar. I actually pushed up on the roof and got the caulking on top of the bar, so when the roof came down it smeared out both sides. Then I caulked the front and back edges. So that middle bar's caulked really good. This bar I couldn't really push up on the roof too hard. So that's already in there pretty sturdy, so that didn't get that on top of the door, but that should still help a lot. Really happy to finally get that done. That bar's been bouncing around in here forever now. So that's where all my transmission fluid is going, or coming out of. So that rear transmission seal on that output shaft probably started leaking when I took it out of there and didn't notice it until I put this in here. And boy, that leaked quite a bit. This has only been here a few days. Dang it. Well, I guess I gotta take that back out again at some point. Replace that seal. Alright, we're heading north. We're gonna get tags. Thank you so much, supporters. We'll check mail, and I thought there was a third thing I wanted to do, but maybe that's it. Oh, I need to get gas. That's the third thing. That's the third thing. About 8:20 to 8:30 in the morning. Should have a nice drive there. Might hit some traffic on the way back. But yeah, it'll be nice to get this all done and over with. Thank you so much, supporters, for helping out with this mission. It's gotta get done. I'll be happy to get this done early. Rusty's got to grab up supplies for the RV, take me to get food. Gotta have them. Said it should be around 80s today, I think. Low 80s? High 70s? Pretty sure it said 80 something. I think it might have said 82. I can't remember. Checked it a few days ago. Got 60 bucks in gas with what I had in there already. That might get me there and back. If not, might have to get a little more on the way back, but I don't think that'll get me there. Get me there and back. Back to my home state, so I don't have to make these long drives anymore. It's so expensive picking up my mail and getting gas, stopping in storage units for things I need, tools, putting things away. Done this drive in a long time. Feels good. Go on a little bit of a road trip. About a 2-hour drive. 3 if we got traffic, or 3 if I hit the rush hour stuff, which sucks. song about living in a small town? Na, 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 na. What do you guys think about West Virginia? Been doing some research on other states than just the two that I keep focusing on. I mean, it's a long freaking drive, and I really wanted to stay closer, but you know, if I go to another state, I might as well go to like a, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff about West Virginia I'm really liking. Their official rifle of the states is an AR-15. I love it. It's a 2A sanctuary. They've done stuff to prevent voter fraud. We've got measures or laws, whatever you call it, to prevent sanctuary scum cities from being formed there. It's real mountainous and beautiful, kind of like around here. Looks similar, which is something I really wanted. And there's no freezing cold winters in Montana. Not that that'd be too big a deal. Got to leave in the winter, take off, go drive around and the house and find a new location for the winter to hide out. I kind of figured I'd be going back to Washington just to hang out and, you know, not to spend any money. Once I'm out of Washington, they're not getting anything from me ever again. But I'd still go up there to Boondock or something. Maybe float down to Oregon and back, and then head back to Montana once the winters thaw out. But then again, that's a pretty cold winter. Those are pretty cold winters up there in Montana, so I don't know. In Arizona, yeah, Arizona's just too, land's cheap, but some of you make a good point. It's cheap for a reason. The more I think about it, the more I think Montana and Arizona are just not going to be good options. They're great gun-friendly states, but it's either too hot or too cold. Virginia's looking quite nice. Boy, that's a long drive though, but to be in a good state. One thing I don't like about West Virginia, which is not a big deal, but they have vehicle safety inspections, which I can see being a good thing because some people just do not take care of their cars, and I don't know. But the requirements are not too bad. The only thing I might have to worry about is my exhaust and being too loud. There's like a 90 or 95 decibel limit or something. But yeah, I don't really care for that stuff. There's no vehicle emissions testing, so I don't got to worry about that. That's nice. Safety inspections, I don't know. I don't care for that. Though they are, it looks like they're trying to pass something that gets rid of them or makes it, you know, makes them less strict. usually try to get to work by 9, so I think traffic gets thick a little earlier than that. But it's not just people getting to work, it's deliveries and all sorts of things. I don't remember. I usually try and avoid the traffic. God, that sawdust pile. Why are they hoarding so much sawdust? That thing is turning into a small mountain. Does it need to age or something? They got a whole bunch there aging, so they have a... This is crazy. That's not even the biggest one. I think the biggest one's over there. Unless they've, you know, they shrunk, got used up. That is so much, actually it's probably bark chips. I think somebody told me it's bark chips. Yeah, that shrunk a little bit. Still, what the heck do you need that much for? Jesus. Boy, we got some clouds overhead. Those look kind of like raining a little bit. It's supposed to be like 80 today. What the heck's going on? Good time for this drive. There's traffic. There's some traffic. Not too surprising. God, it's beautiful over here. So one thing I may miss is these large flat areas of land. Trees are a little different too. I think you guys got some different kind of trees over there. Do you have evergreens? Pine trees? In West Virginia? bridge. Pretty cool bridge. Sky roads. Roads up in the sky. Cool to check out the train yard from up here. Southbound traffic is looking horrible. It's cool to see that site again over there. That Columbia River. All right, back home. See the familiar sights of my home state here. Would love to see Fort Vancouver one more time. I went there for at least 2 different field trips from school, and then my dad took me there once. I've been there a bunch of times. The Fort Vancouver's neat. Boy, this place turned into a crap hole though. Graffiti everywhere, garbage, and typical Democrat state. Homelessness, defunding the police, or not letting them do their job. Can't wait to move. Washington sucks. Only slightly better than California, but I would still lump them into the same un-American swamp state category. Good to go for another year. Actually, a year and a month. Get that done a little early. Alright, that was easy peasy, in and out. That's one thing I would give Washington credit for, is their easygoing vehicle licensing operation. I did away with emissions some years ago, which is awesome. Never cared for the way that all works. The truck is not going to fit in this spot, but I like parking in the back. Yeah, my first car, I spent so much money trying to get that thing to pass emissions, and then finally the guy was like, just register it in Cowlitz. I was like, oh, that's all I gotta do. And then they did away with emissions, and now the emission testing building is all covered in moss and spider webs. I love it. I love seeing that. So that's one thing I do like about Washington is it's just easy to get your vehicle registered and working. So we're here at Albertsons. I gotta go in and use the bathroom, and I'm gonna see if there's something to eat. All right, no snacks. I use the bathroom though. If I get on the road here quickly, I could probably beat traffic. It's about 10:30. 11 o'clock is usually an okay time, so I don't want to spend too much time in that store. So I'm back. Mission accomplished. Thank you, helpers, so very much. For helping me get this out of the way. And a month early, so that's always good. Rusty's doing great. Leaks a little bit of transmission fluid, I think. That or motor oil. I smell it burning every once in a while, but he never loses any oil. It must be a very slow leak. Rusty, we are good for another year and a month with you. More than enough time to get that RV finished, I think. If you guys haven't noticed, I have not done a very good job of assessing the financial part of that whole project. Did not expect plywood to be 55 bucks a sheet. I guess I didn't really expect myself to use pressure treated, but I couldn't bring myself to put up stuff that can rot or mold. I might try something different with the walls. Man, I am hungry though. I made up some chicken stew last night, so I got something good sitting at home waiting for me. Something yummy. Oh my God, what is that? That was a beautiful car. fix that exhaust leak. It's just getting worse and worse. Alright, heading on back. Quick mission, long drive. Unless you include the driving part of the mission, then that was a long mission. Traffic looking good so far. We'll wait till we get closer to Portland though, but yeah, I might have hit it at just the right time. Oh, speedster. Sun's coming out. Finally, that's beautiful. Beautiful scenery over the bridge here. Semi just locked up his brakes. Okay. Got to watch for that jam up. Gridlock. Museum. Rice Museum. Exit. I'm kind of taking some back roads. A little detour. Some more of those bark chips. Small pile. Blueberries. Bark chips for the blueberries. Alright, you guys, stay tuned. Thank you again, helpers, supporters of the channel. I really appreciate you. We'll get back on this RV as soon as possible. Next we'll be putting up those ceiling panels and maybe a couple other little things. Stay tuned.